We have breaking news right now. The country is headed towards a government shutdown, and there does not appear to be an off-ramp, at least not right now. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, House Republican leader Mike Johnson, Senate Republican leader John Thune, and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries all just finished meeting with Donald Trump in the White House. And while they came out of it with no signs of a deal, Vice President J.D. Vance says that the government shutdown is likely going to happen because Democrats, quote, won't do the right thing. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer pushed back, saying they will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that cuts health care for ordinary Americans, and emphasized that Trump seemed to only realize the real consequences for health care during their meeting. After the White House talks, Democrats remarked that Trump appeared more open to negotiating than Hill Republicans, with Trump often responding to Democratic suggestions by saying he was willing to have the conversation, but only in the context of keeping the government open. Here's the deal, folks. The government shutdown is happening, and it's happening likely tomorrow night. 11:59 p.m. is the deadline to keep the government open. Right now, the House of Representatives isn't even in town in Washington, D.C., which means the United States Senate has a choice: either pass a continuing resolution that was voted on by Republicans only, or let the government shut down. And Democrats right now are not budging because at the same time of the government shutdown, Affordable Care Act subsidies expire. If they expire, healthcare premiums for millions of Americans will go up to 75%. And so what Democrats want is a pledge, a bill to extend those subsidies, to protect healthcare, to keep premiums low for those on the Affordable Care Act or plans associated with the ACA. And they're willing to essentially let this government shutdown go through unless Republicans protect healthcare. Now, Mike Johnson is threatening to defund a number of things, like FEMA, for example, like childhood healthcare programs, and much more. And well, if there is a government shutdown, federal employees will be furloughed, federal employees will be fired, but you know who will receive a paycheck? Congressional members. Members of Congress will receive a paycheck during a government shutdown, even as their constituents will not. The Labor Department has said that it will halt Bureau of Labor Statistics operations, delaying key reports like the upcoming jobs report number later this week. This Friday it's supposed to come out, but it could be delayed if there is a government shutdown. Ultimately, here's the thing. We're barreling towards a government shutdown. There does not appear to be an off-ramp. And while Republicans are going to blame Democrats and Democrats are going to blame Republicans, the polling suggests that the American people would overwhelmingly blame the Republicans, given the fact that they control the White House, the House of Representatives, and the United States Senate. I'll be providing you coverage throughout a government shutdown, so make sure to subscribe to support my work or send a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. And this comes at a critical time because just minutes ago, YouTube, one of the last major tech companies that Donald Trump has sued, well, just settled with the Trump administration for $24.5 million, money that will go directly to build Donald Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom in the White House. Companies are actively caving in real time to this administration, and YouTube just became the next one. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is reportedly spiraling, with aides describing him as manic and obsessed with his security after Charlie Kirk's assassination. He is lashing out at staff, forcing generals worldwide to attend a pep rally, and cracking down on Pentagon press access in what critics call an attack on transparency. MAGA figures have erupted after the NFL chose Bad Bunny to headline the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show, blasting him as a, quote, Trump hater and anti-ICE activist who doesn't sing in English, while the Puerto Rican star framed the honor as a celebration of Latino culture and history. An Arizona Republican lawmaker, John Gillette, sparked outrage by calling for Representative Pramila Jayapal to be, quote, tried, convicted, and hanged after deceptively edited clip misrepresented her remarks about organizing peaceful protests, literally calling for a Democratic lawmaker's execution on social media. The Trump administration and House Republicans are actively proposing nearly $2 billion in cuts to HIV prevention and treatment funding, including eliminating the CDC's HIV prevention division, a move experts warn could cause over 200,000 additional infections and billions in medical costs by 2030, though the Senate's plan maintains current funding levels. A new photo has surfaced from the Treasury Department showing Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent reading a message from the Agriculture Secretary warning that essentially China outmaneuvered the White House and outmaneuvered Donald Trump over soybean production. And so here we are. The administration still plans to bail out Argentina with about $20 billion. And now Trump's own cabinet believes essentially that they are being undermined by China, losing to China. The co-founder of Women for Trump, Amy Kremer, has come out against the current administration's policies, tweeting out, "The cost of living is out of control. If you don't grocery shop, you need to go to the grocery store and see for yourself. The prices are outrageous and continue to climb. I don't know how people are living. Families are struggling and can't afford to eat. Our elderly are hurting and too prideful to say anything. Something has got to give." A gunman identified as 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford killed 4 and injured 8 in a Mormon church in Michigan before being shot by police. We're now learning that records show he had pro-Trump signs in his lawn and prior anti-Mormon sentiments, while authorities stress speculation remains premature. Trump today announced that Gaza will be placed under a temporary transitional governance led by a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee, but controversially declared that he himself would chair the committee, and that if Hamas did not agree to Trump's plan, he would essentially give full support to Bibi Netanyahu to do whatever he wants in Gaza, despite rising concerns of the humanitarian crisis that remains ongoing in Gaza. Over 60,000 Palestinians, innocent Palestinians, have been killed. Dolly Parton has postponed her Las Vegas residency due to health concerns until September 2026. An American Airlines flight at LAX aborted takeoff at 167 miles per hour after a cargo jet mistakenly crossed its runway without authorization, forcing emergency brakes. The American flight was delayed 2.5 hours while the FAA is investigating. A suspected stowaway was found dead in the landing gear of another American Airlines flight from Europe after it arrived in Charlotte, North Carolina, with police investigating the case and officials noting the high fatality rate of such attempts due to extreme conditions in flight. And finally, top comedians, including Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, and Aziz Ansari, are facing significant backlash right now for performing Saudi Arabia's Riyadh Comedy Festival, with critics and human rights groups condemning the event as image washing and amid censorship rules and the kingdom's repressive record, while some comics denied going or later withdrew over ethical concerns. Folks, that's all the news right now. If you want to support my work, make sure to subscribe today, like, comment, and share. Stay tuned for more. More to come soon. Hey, folks. Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.